Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the nation and participating in a virtual event this morning on the occasion of International Yoga Day. The occasion is set to be marked on digital media platforms without mass gatherings, this time in the shadow of the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time since it was instituted on the 21st of June 2015, coinciding with the summer solstice each year, Yoga Day will go digital. Now, this year's theme is Yoga for Health, Yoga at Home. In fact, let's cut across to visuals coming in of Baba Ramdev practicing yoga over there. These are the visuals coming in. Remember, this is the first time that Yoga Day is digital. Remember, this is the first time that Yoga Day will be digital. Prime Minister Modi will be addressing the country as well in a short while from now. He'll be delivering a message to the nation. Remember, this time around, the Prime Minister has appealed to all to practice yoga at home in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. He's asked everyone to practice yoga within the confines of their homes.
विद्याभ्यास में भी बहुत निपुण हैं और योगाभ्यास में भी। तो चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं।
सच्चा वीर बना दे मां, सच्चा वीर बना दे मां। सच्चा वीर बना दे मां, ऐसा वीर बना दे मां। सच्चा वीर बना दे मां, ऐसा धीर बना दे मां। ध्रुव मेरा सी भक्ति दे दे, ध्रुव मेरा सी भक्ति दे दे। अर्जुन जैसा वीर बना दे, अर्जुन जैसा वीर बना दे। गीता ज्ञान सुना दे मां, गीता ज्ञान सुना दे मां। सच्चा वीर बना दे मां, गीता ज्ञान सुना दे मां। सच्चा वीर बना दे मां, सच्चा वीर बना दे मां। ऐसा धीर बना दे मां। शिवाजी मैं बन जाऊं, वीर शिवाजी मैं बन जाऊं। देश धर्म पर बलि बलि जाऊं, देश धर्म पर बलि बलि जाऊं। वीर शिवाजी मैं बन जाऊं, देश धर्म पर बलि बलि जाऊं। ऐसी लगन लगा दे मां, ऐसी लगन लगा दे मां। सच्चा वीर बना दे मां, ऐसी लगन लगा दे मां। सच्चा वीर बना दे मां।
Well, these are visuals coming in of Baba Ramdev practicing yoga. Remember, this time around, yoga is going to be digital. The Prime Minister's message, in fact, will be followed by a live demonstration of a 45-minute common yoga protocol by a team from the Morarji Desai Institute of Yoga. Remember, people across countries will be practicing yoga as well today from their homes. Remember, this time around's yoga program by the Prime Minister was originally scheduled to take place in Leh. It was expected to be a grand event. But of course, that event had to be cancelled in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the Prime Minister, meanwhile, has appealed to people to practice yoga from home. Remember, the Prime Minister has said that especially at a time like the pandemic, yoga leads to an improvement in immunity. The Ministry of Ayush has also constantly stressed on the benefits of yoga in increasing immunity at a time when the COVID-19 crisis has hit the country and the world. Remember, thousands of yoga enthusiasts across the country and across the world will be practicing yoga this morning, along with the Prime Minister, who's appealed to everyone to practice yoga this time around from within the confines of their home in order to maintain social distancing. We're expecting the Prime Minister to address the nation in about 5 minutes at about 6:40 a.m. This is the first time, remember, since the 21st of June 2015 that Yoga Day is being celebrated digitally. This year's theme is Yoga at Home, Yoga with Family. Remember, on the 11th of December 2014, the United Nations General Assembly had officially declared the 21st of June as International Day of Yoga, a couple of months after the Prime Minister had himself proposed the idea.
3 साल के बच्चों से लेकर के 10-11 साल के बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, उनका प्रदर्शन होगा और एक बार उनका जोरदार अभिनंदन.
Well, going across to Payal Mehta, who joins us on the broadcast. Payal, this is the first time that Yoga Day is being observed digitally, with people being appealed to by the Prime Minister to practice yoga from within the confines of their home.
Yes, of course, this Yoga Day celebration marks a unique achievement by the Narendra Modi government. Remember, after coming into power in 2014, the Prime Minister had in fact, taken this issue up with the United Nations, and then since 2015, every year the 21st of June has been observed as the International Yoga Day, not just in India, but basically by 100 plus countries across the world on the request of India. So obviously it's a huge signification. It's a huge thing to tell people that yes, yoga is something which is going to be a holistic way of healing. But this time around, it's going to be a different thing because of the pandemic hitting all over the world, it's going to be more of a celebration that, be at home and celebrate Yoga Day with your family. So obviously a lot of people are going to be doing yoga at home, largely keeping social distance in mind, keeping issues like, not gathering up in a place as well. So obviously it's going to be very, very different this time around. Because every year the Prime Minister has been in fact doing this yoga with the public, in places. Every year it's done at a different place. Last time around the Prime Minister had been in Jharkhand capital for Yoga Day, and in fact things would have been normal Vandana. Interestingly, this time around the Yoga Day celebrations were to take place in the high valley of Ladakh. So, but the pandemic has hit, and that's now the reason all the plans have now changed, and the country is going to be observing Yoga Day from their homes and digitally.
Right. Also, Payal, since 2015, the entire world has, has joined in celebrating Yoga Day along with India, with yoga enthusiasts across the world expected to join in today as well.
Well, absolutely, because like I said, that whenever the Prime Minister Vandana is asked across. When he speaks to world leaders, all the world leaders always speak to him and ask him about how yoga is, and they express a lot of interest in yoga because they feel it's a holistic way and an inexpensive way of basically getting treated for various diseases and, in fact, keeping fit as well. So that's something which the Prime Minister has been speaking about across the world whenever he speaks to world leaders. And more importantly, yoga holds a lot of significance now because it helps you in many ways as well. It helps you to keep healthy. It helps you to basically make sure that your breathing exercises improve, your breathing capability increases. And then more than anything else, since we are all grappling with this coronavirus, it's a huge stress buster as well. So that's one of the reasons that, like I said, that in 2014, after becoming the Prime Minister had, in fact, taken this to the world and taken this to the United Nations. Obviously, it holds a lot of significance from there on.
Right, and last year, if you compare this year's celebrations to last year, there were over 300 events organized by the BJP all across the country. This time around, Union Culture Minister Prahlad Patel, he will be performing Surya Namaskar at Purana Killa. But what about the rest of the BJP leaders? What are their plans?
Well, government ministers will be there across the entire place and they'll be observing yoga. But like I said, it's not going to be a public function. If you're looking at the visuals that we're seeing on the screen, The first Yoga Day celebrations happened in Delhi at the magnificent Rajpath lawns. But after that, the Prime Minister has been doing yoga in different places as well. And last time around, he was in Ranchi. But because of the fact that you are looking at the pandemic situation, so the ministers will be spread across the length and breadth of the country, and in fact will be doing it either from a very confined place with their families, or at least a place where sufficient social distancing will be observed. So obviously, people have been asked to go to various places to go and celebrate Yoga Day. The Prime Minister will be leaving the country, in the Yoga Day observation from his 7 LKM residence, from where we will hear him address us also in some time from now.
Right, and this is very different, Payal, from the original plan, because the Ministry of Ayush had earlier planned to hold a grand event in Leh, but of course that was cancelled in lieu of the pandemic.
Well, absolutely, because like I said, that for the first time, this kind of magnificent celebration was likely to take place in Ladakh, which is about 12,000 square feet right above the sea level. So obviously that plan has gone for a toss with the pandemic, but the government has seen the kind of enthusiasm that they've seen as far as Yoga Day observation is concerned, and that's why the Ministry of Ayush has been working overtime to make sure that this is done digitally. And they've been appealing to people, and this time around the theme for yoga has been yoga at home and yoga with family. So they've been asking people to do yoga asking people to observe Yoga Day from the realms of the house, to do yoga with their family, but to make
बहुत बहुत बधाई और शुभकामनाएं। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस का ये दिन एक प्रकार से एकजुटता का दिन है। ये विश्व बंधुत्व के संदेश का दिन है। ये वननेस ऑफ ह्यूमननेस का दिन है, जो हमें जोड़े, साथ लाए, वही तो योग है। जो दूरियों को खत्म करे, वही तो योग है। कोरोना के इस संकट के दौरान दुनिया भर के लोगों का माय लाइफ माय योगा वीडियो ब्लॉगिंग कंपटीशन में हिस्सा लेना इस बात को दिखाता है कि योग के प्रति उत्साह कितना बढ़ रहा है, कितना व्यापक है। साथियों, इस साल अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस की थीम योगा एट होम एंड योगा विथ फैमिली ये तय हुई है। आज हम सब सामूहिक कार्यक्रमों से दूर रहकर घर में ही अपने परिवार के साथ मिलकर योग कर रहे हैं। बच्चे हो, बड़े हो, युवा हो, परिवार के बुजुर्ग हो, सभी जब एक साथ योग के माध्यम से जुड़ते हैं तो पूरे घर में एक ऊर्जा का संचार होता है। और इसलिए इस बार का योग दिवस, अगर मैं दूसरे शब्दों में कहूं तो ये भावात्मक योग का भी दिन है। हमारी फैमिली बॉन्डिंग को भी बढ़ाने का दिन है। साथियों, कोरोना पैंडेमिक के कारण आज दुनिया योग की जरूरत को पहले से भी अधिक गंभीरता से महसूस कर रही है। अगर हमारी इम्यूनिटी स्ट्रांग हो तो हमें इस बीमारी को हराने में बहुत मदद मिलती है। इम्यूनिटी को बढ़ाने के लिए योग की अनेक विधियां हैं, अनेक प्रकार के आसन हैं। वो आसन ऐसे हैं जो हमारे शरीर की स्ट्रेंथ को बढ़ाते हैं, हमारे मेटाबॉलिज्म उसको शक्तिशाली करते हैं, लेकिन कोविड-19 वायरस खास तौर पर हमारे श्वसन तंत्र यानी कि रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम पर अटैक करता है। हमारे रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम को स्ट्रांग करने में जिससे सबसे ज्यादा मदद मिलती है वो है प्राणायाम। प्राणायाम यानी एक प्रकार से ब्रीथिंग एक्सरसाइज है। सामान्य तौर पर अनुलोम विलोम प्राणायाम ये एक प्रकार से पॉपुलर भी हैं, आप भी जानते हैं और लोग भी जानते हैं, करके भी दिखाते हैं। ये प्रभावी भी है, लेकिन प्राणायाम के अनेक प्रकार हैं। इसमें अगर आप प्राणायाम को जानने वालों से मिलोगे तो बताएंगे शीतली है, कपालभाति है, भ्रामरी है, भस्त्रिका है, बहुत है, अनगिनत है। अब तो नए नए जुड़ते भी चले जा रहे हैं। योग की ये सभी विधाएं, ये तकनीक हमारे रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम और इम्यून सिस्टम दोनों को मजबूत करने में बहुत मदद करती है। इसलिए आपसे मेरा विशेष आग्रह है, आप आसन करते हो, एक्सरसाइज करते हो, जो भी करते हो जरूर करें, लेकिन आप प्राणायाम को अपने डेली अभ्यास में जरूर शामिल करिए और अनुलोम विलोम के साथ ही अनेक जो प्राणायाम की टेक्निक्स हैं उसे भी सीखिए, उसको सिद्ध कीजिए। योग की इन पद्धतियों का लाभ बड़ी संख्या में आज पूरी दुनिया में ये कोरोना वायरस से ग्रसित जो लोग हैं वो पेशेंट उसका लाभ ले भी रहे हैं। योग की ताकत से उन्हें इस बीमारी को हराने में मदद मिल रही है। साथियों, योग से हमें वो आत्मविश्वास और मनोबल भी मिलता है जिससे हम संकटों से जूझ सकें और जीत सकें। योग से हमें शांति मिलती है, मानसिक शांति मिलती है, संयम और सहन शक्ति भी मिलती है। स्वामी विवेकानंद जी कहा करते थे, एक आदर्श व्यक्ति वो है जो नितांत निर्जन में भी क्रियाशील रहता है और अद्वितीय गतिशील में भी संपूर्ण शांति का अनुभव करता है। किसी भी व्यक्ति के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी क्षमता होती है, जब बहुत ज्यादा विपरीत परिस्थिति हो तब भी एक्टिव रहना, थककर हार न मानना, बैलेंस रहना, ये सारी चीजें योग के माध्यम से हमारे जीवन में स्थान प्राप्त करती हैं, हमारे जीवन को बदल देती है, ताकत देती है। और इसलिए आपने भी देखा होगा, महसूस किया होगा, योग का साधक कभी संकट में धैर्य नहीं खोता है। योग का अर्थ ही है समत्वम योग उच्यते, अर्थात अनुकूलता, प्रतिकूलता, सफलता, विफलता, सुख, संकट, हर परिस्थिति में समान रहने, अडिग रहने का नाम उसी तो योग कहते हैं। फ्रेंड्स, योगा एनहेंस आवर क्वेस्ट फॉर अ हेल्थियर प्लेनेट। It has emerged as a force for unity and deepens the bonds of humanity. It does not discriminate. It goes beyond race, color, gender, faith, and nations. Anybody can embrace yoga. All you need is some part of your time and empty space. Yoga is giving us not only the physical strength, but also mental balance and emotional stability to confidently negotiate the challenges before us. Friends, if we can fine-tune our course of health and hope, the day is not far away when world will witness the success of healthy and happy humanity. Yoga can definitely help us make this happen. साथियों, जब हम योग के माध्यम से समस्याओं के समाधान की बात कर रहे हैं, दुनिया के कल्याण की बात कर रहे हैं, तो मैं योगेश्वर कृष्ण के कर्मयोग का भी आपको पुनः स्मरण करना चाहता हूं। गीता में भगवान कृष्ण ने योग की व्याख्या करते हुए कहा है, योगः कर्मसु कौशलम, अर्थात कर्म की कुशलता ही योग है। एफिशिएंसी इन एक्शन इज योगा। ये मंत्र सदा सर्वदा हमें सिखाता है कि योग के द्वारा जीवन में अधिक योग्य बनने की क्षमता पैदा होती है। अगर हम अपना काम अनुशासन से करते हैं, अपना दायित्व निभाते हैं, तो भी एक तरह का योग ही है। साथियों, कर्मयोग का एक विस्तार और है। हमारे यहां कहा गया है, युक्त आहार विहारस्य युक्त चेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्त स्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुखा। अर्थात सही खान पान, सही ढंग से खेलकूद, सोने जागने की सही आदतें और अपने काम, अपनी ड्यूटीज को सही ढंग से करना ही योग है। इसी कर्मयोग से हमें सभी तकलीफों और समस्याओं का समाधान मिलता है। इतना ही नहीं, हमारे यहां निष्काम कर्म को बिना किसी स्वार्थ के सभी का उपकार करने की भावना को भी कर्मयोग कहा गया है। कर्मयोग की ये भावना भारत के रग रग में रची बसी है। जब भी जरूरत पड़ी, भारत के इस निस्वार्थ भाव को पूरी दुनिया ने अनुभव किया है। साथियों, जब हम योग से चलते हैं, कर्मयोग की भावना से चलते हैं, तो व्यक्ति के तौर पर, समाज के तौर पर, देश के तौर पर हमारी शक्ति भी कई गुना बढ़ जाती है। आज हमें इसी भावना से संकल्प लेना है। हम अपने स्वास्थ्य के लिए, अपनों के स्वास्थ्य के लिए हर संभव प्रयास करेंगे। एक सजग नागरिक के रूप में हम परिवार और समाज के रूप में एकजुट होकर आगे बढ़ेंगे। हम प्रयास करेंगे कि योगा एट होम एंड योगा विद फैमिली को अपने जीवन का हिस्सा बनाएं। ये सिर्फ एक दिन के लिए नहीं होना चाहिए। और अगर हम ये करेंगे तो हम जरूर सफल होंगे, हम जरूर विजयी होंगे। इसी विश्वास के साथ आप सभी को फिर से अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस की अनेक अनेक शुभकामनाएं। लोकाः समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। ओम।
Well, that was Prime Minister Modi speaking on the occasion of International Yoga Day, saying that we must make yoga at home and yoga with family a part of our daily lives. He also went on to say that the enthusiasm around yoga has been growing constantly over the last couple of years. Also said that the world needs yoga more than ever, especially at a time of the pandemic, because yoga can help us improve our immunity. And if our immunity is good, in turn, we can beat the disease. He also spoke about how COVID-19 ends up attacking our respiratory system, and yoga in fact helps our respiratory system, especially with pranayam and the Anulom Vilom exercises. Also went on to talk about how yoga improves our mental well-being, our emotional well-being, our self-confidence, our mental balance and emotional stability. And yoga can also give us self-confidence in dealing with problems. The Prime Minister also going on to say that yoga is a lifestyle. It's not only a practice and must be incorporated in daily life. The Prime Minister just concluding his digital address on the occasion of International Yoga Day. Remember, the Prime Minister has appealed to all to practice yoga at home this time around, as opposed to the last couple of years when the BJP has gone all out in arranging a number of events all across the country. This time around, the emphasis has been on yoga within the confines of the four walls of one's home. The Prime Minister talking about the impact of yoga on immunity, which is extremely crucial, especially at a time when lakhs of people in the country have been affected by the pandemic. The disease also ends up adversely impacting our respiratory system, which is something yoga can help reverse. Go across to Payal for more details. Payal, the Prime Minister in fact talking about how yoga as a lifestyle is not only a practice, and incorporating it into our daily life can have multiple benefits.
Yes, of course, the Prime Minister is making a very, very brief speech over here as we mark the Yoga Day celebrations for 2020 in the midst of this pandemic. And the Prime Minister very clearly saying that yoga is nothing but it's a holistic way of, staying fit. It ensures that your mental toughness increases, and it also ensures that you have a way of life and you become disciplined as well. And the most important fact that the Prime Minister said is that yoga is an inexpensive way of staying fit, and more than anything else, it's something which does not discriminate. It does not discriminate on the basis of caste, creed, religion, etc. Anybody and everybody can embrace yoga, and yoga is going to be the way of life from here on as well. And so that's one of the reasons the Prime Minister making an appeal to people to observe yoga, and not just as today as a symbolic celebration, but to make it a part of their life as well, to stay fit, to ensure that they can get the benefits of being a healthy nation and a nation which takes a lot of pride in yoga as well. So that's one of the reasons the Prime Minister has been making this particular speech and making an appeal to people that yes, observe Yoga Day, but do not observe it with your family. And that's why this year's theme by the Ayush Ministry has been yoga at home and yoga with family. So obviously that's what you're going to see from now, that the Prime Minister will be in fact performing the 45 minutes.
Right, we seem to have lost that connection with Payal, and we'll try and reconnect in just a bit. But the Prime Minister emphasizing the importance of yoga. Remember, the Prime Minister has constantly emphasized the importance of yoga ever since he came to power in 2014. The proposal to start Yoga Day was first introduced by the Prime Minister in his address during the opening of the 69th session of the General Assembly in the year 2014. This time around, it's the 6th International Yoga Day, a unique one at that, of course, with the world grappling with a pandemic. The Prime Minister appealing to everyone to please practice yoga within the confines of their home. Like Payal was mentioning, the Prime Minister also went on to say that yoga goes beyond race and faith, and anyone can end up embracing yoga. a 15-minute address there by the Prime Minister that he has just concluded, where he stressed on the importance of employing the practice of yoga in our daily life. He stressed on the fact that it's important not only for immunity to battle the COVID-19 pandemic, but it's also important for our mental balance and well-being. Going back across to Payal, who joins us on the broadcast. Payal, focusing for a bit on what the Prime Minister said about how yoga goes beyond race and faith, and anyone can embrace it.
Well, of course, isn't that a wonderful thought to share as well? Because, here you talk about what the rich can achieve and the poor can't achieve, but yoga is something which everybody can do. And like I've been saying, it's an inexpensive way of staying fit. You barely have, what you need is just probably some time, and what you need is an open space to be able to do these exercises as well. So obviously that's what the Prime Minister is really stressing on. And this time around it's a different way of doing yoga as well, because normally you have these huge celebrations like we've been saying in public places, but this time around the theme has been yoga at home and yoga at family. That's what the request has been of the government, of the Prime Minister himself, saying that yoga is something which India has given to the world. Embrace it, make it a part of your life, because it not only will help you heal holistically, but also will ensure that you become tough mentally as well, which is so much the need of the hour right now. We are battling this pandemic, and all of us are really pushed beyond our limits.
Right, and also Payal, remember, this is not the first year, of course. This is the 6th International Yoga Day that we are celebrating. And in December 2014, the United Nations General Assembly declared 21st June as International Yoga Day, after the Prime Minister himself pushed the idea.
Well, yes, as soon as Narendra Modi came to power as the Prime Minister in 2014, in that very year, in fact, when the Prime Minister went to the United Nations, at that point in time, he had in fact made an appeal and asked the world to embrace yoga and mark the 21st of June each year as the International Yoga Day. So that's one of the reasons you've seen celebrations each and every year. And the Prime Minister partakes and he leads the nation into the Yoga Day observation as well. And yes, the exercises and the regime and the celebrations are done from length and breadth of the country as well. This time around, the theme was going to be in Ladakh, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, so the entire plan took a toss. This time around, also the Prime Minister will be leading the country.
All right, Payal, thank you for joining us. We also have on the broadcast Vesna Jacob, who's a wellness expert. Thank you, Vesna, for joining us. The Prime Minister just concluded his address where he stressed on the importance of yoga, especially at a time when the world is dealing with a global pandemic. That attacks our respiratory system. He said that yoga can help reverse that.
Yes, absolutely. Yoga is known to improve not only respiratory system but the entire immunity system, and I think right now with the lack of vaccine or effective medical treatment, the best thing we can do for our health is to keep on building the immunity system through low impact exercises, as well as to keep on working on our respiratory system, because the stronger you are, the less effective, even if you get infected, the quicker recovery and the less violent the attack would be. And on the other side, I would also talk about the mental health aspect, because yoga is known to decrease the stress levels and really help you balance and find that inner stability and inner peace, which is so well needed and required in the times of great disruptions, like what us and the rest of the world are going through at the moment.
Right. Also, the Prime Minister stressed on pranayam and anulom vilom being extremely beneficial. Is it possible for you to maybe demonstrate some techniques that our viewers could employ in their daily life?
Well, when it comes to the breathing, I think the first foremost is just the meditative side of the breath, which is to sit in whatever position you are comfortable with the spine erect. Close your eyes and just observe the breath, the way it flows into the body, the way the lungs expand, and the way slowly it leaves the body. So this is the first part, which is the meditative part, which is for de-stressing the body, for finding the inner peace and helping you create more space. Because the more stressed we are, the hormonal levels are getting imbalanced, that can actually reduce the strength of our immunity. Anulom Vilom is actually a very simple, where we are just using two fingers to help us with the breathing, to activate nadis, to activate the energy parts on and level them out and create a balance of both parts of the body. And it's very simple that you can use the thumb and the small finger, in which case you are going to close the nostril, the right. You're going to slowly inhale with the eyes closed through the left nostril. You're going to hold both pinched nostrils for just a short period of time, or if that is not comfortable in the beginning, you can just close the other one and then exhale through the right. And then again, we are going to repeat. I'll just turn so that you can see. Inhale to the right, pinch both nostrils, exhale to the left. Now, what this helps is, as I said, it creates and balances the body, but more importantly, it really helps with the energy exchange. It helps with the respiratory, strengthens the respiratory system, and of course, is making you healthier and stronger.
All right. Also, any other breathing exercises or any other exercises in general that you'd like to demonstrate, which can help at a time like this for people to increase their, respiratory health as well as their general immunity at the time of the pandemic?
It's always Bhastrika, which is actually with a powerful movement with the arms and the more powerful breath. And this is meant for healthy individuals to strengthen and increase the energy levels. So this is not if you're already sick or you're at the moment struggling, you should not be doing anything that is additionally going to stress your system. So this is very important to say that one needs to know, same as with the medicine, you cannot use every medicine for everything, right? So you're going to apply each and every one of these techniques depending on the status of health and mental, emotional, and physical health you're in right now. So I would stick in terms of particularly Corona, building immunity system and de-stressing the body. I would stick with just following the breath as a meditation. Om chanting or a chanting of any sorts is also very beneficial because, again, it helps the exchange of the energy in the body and, again, helps with the focus and de-stressing. And then Om Vilom because it brings that balance within the body and also strengthens the system. Now, if we are going through the more powerful breathing techniques or with even Bhastrika, which is mainly meant to increase the energy and kind of vigor within the body. However, this is not necessarily something who is at the moment going through respiratory problems, breathing issues, or is having a virus, because this can additionally strain and stress the body, which would then be contraindicated. So again, it's important to know what one is doing, basic, and to do appropriate exercises based on their current health.
All right, but could you just give us some general exercises that people who are watching the show can, imitate and employ in their daily lives?
The general exercises now, regardless to your fitness level at the moment, regardless to the physical issues, I think the basic head rolls, mobilizing the system, shoulder rolls, cat and camel, cat and dog stretch, then rolling with the feet or just raising the arm, all the way stretching to the side. So all of these exercises are really gentle, and they're cobra, inverted V, and cobra, downward dog, and the cobra stretches. They're all meant to, again, be more or less for every user, regardless to their medical condition, and they're increasing the immunity system, because it's important to know that immunity system requires us to do low impact exercises, because that is how we can increase the well-being, mobility of the body, decrease the stress as well as pain levels within the body, and followed with a meditative session, followed with a breathing session. This kind of creates a complete system to help with immunity, and of course, the start the day after you do all of that, then do your Surya Namaskars, because of course sun salutation, that is a series of 12 exercises which are meant to kind of target each and every part of the body. If you're having medical issues, then do them. There are many modified versions of Surya Namaskar, but this is a very simple, available online, free of cost. So even if you do not necessarily have a proficiency or a knowledge, there is enough and plenty free content, including at the Ministry of Ayush, which one can go to, reach out, and along there are lots of natural remedies like giloy juice, using aloe vera, using neem, using amla, turmeric milk. All of that is meant to decrease the inflammation and boost the immunity system. So breathing exercises, some of meditation, Surya Namaskar, and then anti-inflammatory. This is how pretty much everybody, and this is not that time demanding, everyone has it in the household. So these are really, really effective and accessible remedies available to all of us.
All right, stay on with us, Vesna. We'll come back to you in just a bit, but let's listen in once again to Prime Minister Modi's message on the importance of yoga during the times of COVID-19.
अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस का ये दिन एक प्रकार से एकजुटता का दिन है, वननेस ऑफ ह्यूमननेस का दिन है, जो हमें जोड़े, साथ लाए, वही तो योग है। कोरोना पैंडेमिक के कारण आज दुनिया योग की जरूरत को पहले से भी अधिक गंभीरता से महसूस कर रही है। अगर हमारी इम्यूनिटी स्ट्रांग हो तो हमें इस बीमारी को हराने में बहुत मदद मिलती है। हमारे रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम को स्ट्रांग करने में जिससे सबसे ज्यादा मदद मिलती है वो है प्राणायाम।
Well, going back to Vesna, you were just mentioning some concoctions that can be beneficial if consumed. If you could just give out some of those recipes so that viewers who are watching the show can take notes and then have them later.
As the Prime Minister said, building immunity system and preventing illness is absolutely important. So I think what everybody has in their household is a turmeric. So if you just mix the teaspoon with a little bit of a warm milk, and you just have it as a concoction during the day, you can drink it. Aloe vera is excellent to build the immune, plus it's excellent for the skin. Neem, if you can find the small branches, or you can find it even as a powder, and chew on. Giloy juice, which is can be done at home, or so if you just soak the bark and the plant in the water, handful or 2 handfuls in 1 liter of water, and you just let that water be infused with it. It's or you can buy the juice online. It's available. All of these things will help, and amla, of course. Now, this can be drunk throughout the day, or you can have it in the morning. You start with the turmeric, and then you progress to other remedies. And the combination is going to keep the inflammation down, as well as build and strengthen immunity system. And amla is known for its high content of vitamin C, which is important in building immunity.
All right, some very helpful tips there. And also, Vesna, what if somebody wants to start practicing yoga today? Had this been a couple of months ago, they could have gone to a yoga studio, they could have called an instructor. But what happens? How does one, start today?
Interestingly, this is something really interesting with this happen, and I think this is the reason why the human race has done so well for themselves globally. and everywhere because we are terribly innovative and we are adaptable, and whatever happens, we find a way how to kind of move on because life doesn't stop, right? And unlike any other time in history, we are having connection, we are connected. And while I am physically distanced, I actually have never been connected with other people, and we are all click away from each other. So everyone has shifted their practices, their work online, the same way as offices are working from online. People like myself are working online as well, because if I have a client or a group of clients which I can see and they can see me, then the entire practice can be done online. So there is a lot of, when it comes to yoga in particular, there is a lot of free content, being at YouTube, being it from various providers in yoga particularly, or if your favorite teacher might be having online program, and lots of yoga teachers are also available for one-on-one consultations as well as for sessions. So just you need to dig a little bit, and everything is already there available, either free of cost, and the sessions are usually kind of split into introductory, beginners, rehabilitative, all the way to the progressive and the fitness yoga sessions as well. So depending on what is that you're looking for, depending on what do you want out of it, and there are lots of accompanied material as well that is dealing with the stress, with the mindfulness, with meditative side. So again, if you're looking something more on the calming, soothing, immunity building side, or restorative side and the mental well-being, then there is that content available as well.
All right, and also there's so much talk about mental health these days and how that's important, especially during the pandemic. And yoga, of course, helps in that. One major part of yoga is meditation. Many people, however, find it difficult to meditate. They find it difficult to, put their thoughts, to focus their thoughts in one direction with so much happening. Could you maybe give us a step-by-step process about how to meditate and focus?
First thing is that if we are finding ourselves too busy and too stressed to meditate, that is the first sign that you really need to meditate. Mm-hmm. All right, because the people who are coping and going through this period of time and without any issues, right, are the ones who probably already are meditating. So meditation is, think of it this way, that whatever is happening right now is actually happening outside of us. How do we understand and how do we interact with that environment is our doing, is coming from within. So what does it make more sense? That I am getting all upset, stressed out, and incapable of responding to situation, and I instead get reactive, which means that my judgment is clouded, that my interactions with people are different, and I may do something that I wouldn't have done in different circumstances. Or if I can observe this situation from the calm place, from the place of understanding, of love, and then respond to situation, because situation does not change. What I do within and how I act in regard to the outside is within my control, and that is where meditation is extremely, extremely important. So in my mind, the easiest and the best way to start to meditate is to set up a time, to whatever amount of time. It can be 5 minutes, it can be 10 minutes. So something really, really small. Make sure that you will not get disrupted during that period of time. So which means that switch off the phone for 10 minutes, set the alarm that's going to tell you that 10 minutes are over, and tell your family members who, I mean, we're all together, just to give you 5 or 10 minutes of time. And sit in whichever way you are comfortable. You can be leaning into the wall as well. For as long as your spine remains erect, you can sit any which other way. So you can sit with the legs cross-legged, in a lotus position. You can stretch the legs out. So that doesn't matter. What matters is that the spine remains straight. Close your eyes and give a task to your mind, because mind is a brain in action. It needs to do something. So usually a lot of people, when they're saying that they're unable to meditate, they're finding it way too difficult or too disruptive, it's because when you tell mind, don't think of anything and be silent, it doesn't have a concept, because mind has to do something. So this little trick is, by telling a mind what to do, you're actually helping it focus the attention. So you're just observing the breath. So your mind's job is to just follow the breath, the way it comes into the body through the nostrils, the way it goes all the way to the lungs, the way lungs are expanding, the way that little pause between 2 breaths, and then the way the breath leaves. Now, another thing about the breath is always in present time. Breath cannot be in the past. Breath cannot be in the future. Breath can only be now. And one of the prerequisites of meditation, finding nirvana, a silence within, is to actually be in this very moment, not to be in the moment behind, not to be in the moment ahead of us, but to be right now in this moment. So once we start following the breath, what happens is the thoughts, the problems, they don't call it for nothing a monkey mind. Everything starts coming back. And it's okay to observe it. It's okay to acknowledge it. It's okay to be aware of everything that's happening within and outside of you. And yet, your mind's job is to bring the attention back to breath. So what happens over a period of time is that all that background noise starts moving away, and the silence replaces it. And that silence is what meditation is about. Now, once you kind of go through this, which is a very, very basic but very profound technique, then you can add to this meditation on particular symbol or a chant, or adding any of the other more advanced practices. But for a beginner, even for a more advanced practitioner, I feel this is always very effective and very beneficial.
Right, because many people who start meditation, the common complaint is that they're not able to focus. They keep thinking about worries, stresses, they keep thinking about the future. So you're saying just concentrate on the breath, and that kind of gives the mind a focus.
I've been in those shoes. I actually, for a long time, many years ago, I actually convinced myself that I cannot meditate, that there is something special or particularly off with me and I cannot meditate. So I would end up either particularly frustrated, which kind of defeats the purpose of meditation, or I would feel completely defeated and I would fall asleep. No, it is just that once you're introduced to a right technique, then anyone can meditate, and everyone should meditate, because our mind is the creator, our intention, sense. So it is not just the stress, but how that stress affects my within. How does it paint my inside? So the energy, how does it change the energy from within? And once my energy from within is changed, it is what will I emit, what will I share, what will I give out to my family, to my coworkers, to the universe. So if I have a technique with which I can not only help myself regain balance within, but be more loving, be more patient, more sharing, more forgiving, then I am not only contributing to my dearest and nearest one, but I'm actually contributing to the earth as whole, because everything is energy and everyone can meditate. We all have the same capabilities. We all are made of the same matter, and meditation is accessible to everyone. You just need to find the right guidance, and with a little bit of a discipline, a little bit of time, over a period of time, that all can expand into more time, more focus, more peace, and till you achieve the silence within meditation.
All right. And also, Vesna, there is a lot of awareness nowadays about fitness. People want to get fit, but there's also a lot of confusion amongst people. Should they go to a gym? Should they go to a yoga class? Do you need to do both? Does yoga compensate for everything? These are a couple of questions that people end up having as well.
Well, to me, as a physiotherapist and posture alignment specialist and expert in Pilates and the core strengthening, to me, and I practice and promote yoga and been doubling with it for many years. To me, these two are kind of interconnected, but they're separate, because to me, yoga is much more go jump around, twist yourself as a pretzel, and look good on pictures. To me, yoga is actually much more holistic, much more further reaching, and is a way to higher consciousness. So talking to me personally about yoga from the physical and only physical benefits and how your body is going to look if you're doing yoga is a little different. Everyone should be exercises. Our body is looking this way because we are meant to move. Movement is natural to us. The same way as the breathing is natural to us, movement is natural to us. And if we were not meant to move, our bodies would have been created differently. So that is now, do you need to go to a gym? Can you do it at home? Or what kind of exercising system you should follow? That again depends on where you're coming from. There is a space for every exercise system based on your ability, based on your physical health, and based on your interest, right? Because we are not all the same. We are not all enthused by the same things. So different things appeal to different people, which is absolutely fine. I feel everyone should have an understanding of Pilates, because Pilates teaches you how to move, how to be aware of your body, and how to be able to use that body to heal the injuries or to prevent injuries from getting them, right? Now, do you want to, from that base, do you want to go and fiddle? I mean, a weight training in the classical sense, I'm not the greatest fan of, because it's not functional. Everything else that uses entire body is something that I prefer, and again, given understanding of the body and the kinesiology and the functional allied science, that is becoming more and more obvious. So you can get and achieve all of your fitness goals by doing Pilates or fiddling with yoga, because yoga in more advanced forms is including a lot of inversions, is including a lot of more challenging postures, which will condition your entire body. But whether you now go and do Zumba and do some CrossFit or do everything, I would first spend time creating a larger awareness within the body by using Pilates for a stronger core, using a yoga for the meditative purposes and increasing mobility within body, and then exploring everything else.
Right, since you mentioned Pilates, if you could just give our viewers a couple of basic tips on how to go about doing Pilates.
Pilates again is it is about how do you use the body, not necessarily what is that you're doing. Because if you do something properly, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to stay safe. And if you do something improperly, even a simple movement can lead to an injury. So Pilates is a holistic system which is focusing on the core conditioning, back health, and creating a higher awareness of your body. So you kind of end up meditating through the movement because your entire focus is on combining your breath, your mental images with the physical exercise that you're doing. And Pilates has been hugely influenced by yoga in sense that there should be something that is meant for everyone. So when it comes to Pilates, there is a rehabilitative side of Pilates, where Pilates is used to help you deal with the back issues, neck issues, or joint injuries. And on the other side, there is a performance Pilates, which is used by a top-level athletes and people who are on top of their game to improve their practice, because by creating a more well-rounded, developed and balanced body with a strong core, not only you're preventing injuries, but you're increasing your performance. And then there are practitioners throughout the spectrum, and as you're seeing, the half of Bollywood here in India are doing Pilates because it's a really low impact, it's for everyone, and it's great fun, particularly if you're using the equipment.
All right, Vesna, thank you so much for all of those tips, for that very interesting chat as well. It's almost been a mini yoga class on the channel this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you everyone for watching.
Now, Director General UN Tatiana Valivoya spoke on how yoga promotes peace and well-being on International Yoga Day. Listen in.
Yoga promotes the principles of peace, rights, and well-being that the United Nations is working towards on a daily basis. It helps to lower stress and achieve inner peace of mind. It creates a strong level of consciousness about oneself and one's environment. I wish you all a happy International Day of Yoga, filled with good health, inner peace, and compassion.
Namaskar. Dear friends, it is a privilege for the World Intellectual Property Organization to join in this celebration of the International Day of Yoga. For me personally, also, it's a great privilege. I'm not an expert nor a teacher of yoga. However, I have been practicing yoga on a daily basis for over 35 years now. Yoga is my personal physician. It's a doctor, it's a health check every single day. It's also a great stabilizer, and I think it's a great unifier of the disparate pieces of ourselves and the disparate pieces of the world. We're all part of this great community of yoga. Yoga is India's gift to humanity.
On behalf of the Interparliamentary Union, I extend to you all my best wishes for a happy International Day of Yoga. Yoga is one of the many gifts that India has bequeathed to the world. Yoga is practiced in nearly every country today. Its virtues go beyond the physical to include meditative and spiritual aspects. It embodies a unity of mind and body and a harmony between the human and the natural. It has been listed by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage.
On that note, we'll slip into a quick break, but on the other side, we'll listen in once again to the Prime Minister's address to the nation on International Yoga Day. Stay tuned.